Campers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Happy Tuesday, July 23rd to all of you. It's 9:01 a.m. here in San Jose, Costa Rica. 11:01 a.m. in Miami, where we're going to be partying extremely hard. The first guest on today's show, we have a packed show. We got Parlay Poppy, Aunt L, Drew Martin. Parlay Poppy will be in Miami. Drew Martin will be in Miami. We're trying to convince Aunt L to come to Miami, but we're all going to be there. Whale Capper, DJ Big Boss, Donnie Rightside, and we just had Nutflush Allen, our very own Nutflush Allen, book his hotel rooms. It's growing. It's coming together. Miami. Here is the link for the hotel in Miami to get the nice cheap rate, $129.99 a night and no daily resort fee, plus internet though, plus internet right on the beach. Bring your wives, bring your girlfriends, bring your children, or just come solo ready to party, however you want to do it. Also, the Beat the Bag competition, the Beat the Bag Saratoga competition, $1,000 up for grabs, $1,000 free to enter, free to enter. There is the link to get in on the Beat the Bag competition that starts Saturday. Speaking of horse racing, in the Prince of Wales Stakes, I'm on the number 2 horse, Avies Flatter. Avies Flatter, the 2-horse, race 8 at Fort Erie, race 8. There's only 5 horses in the race. Small field. Smallest Prince of Wales field I can ever remember. So just take Avies Flatter to win. I think Avies Flatter will turn the tables on one bad boy who beat Avies Flatter, beat him in the Queen's Plate. Okay, there, now. Another giant Monday for us. 6-1. My only loss was that terrible A's bet. 6-1. Beautiful card. Let's just go over the tracker here quickly. We have Indians first 5 -0.5, -120 cash. Indians -1.5, -110 cash. Cincinnati, Milwaukee first 5 under 5, -125 cash. A's +240 loss. New York, Minnesota first 5 over 6, -120 cash. Chicago, San Francisco Giants, thanks to our Nutflush Allen, who gave us this play, and it was solely because of him that I jumped on it. Cubs, Giants, over 8.5, -110, cash. Mariners, first 5, -108, cash. Too easy. Well, I would say too easy, but the baseball gods are messing with me, as you would probably guess. You won't believe what my year-to-date record is. I would like to tell you it's the second day of the year that I can sit here plus units. Rafa, can you show up this baseball record? Oh, God. Unbelievable. 0.01 units. Ridiculous. Still negative, but by the slimmest margin I can ever imagine. All right, so that's all the news. That's all the important stuff. Now, let's give a shout out to all the cappers in the chat. What makes this show special is you guys. We got Nasty Nate. We got Flick My Bick says Cubs screwed me last night. 2 units on them full game, staying away from the Giants for the rest of the month. This is clearly their time of season. Bounce back with 2 units on the Phillies at -138. We got 15 MLB games on the card today. We got 3 WNBAs. We'll touch on the WNBA games briefly. We'll not focus on them, but we'll talk about them more in detail on the late show. Today is all baseball all the time with our 3 guests. We got Parlay Poppy joining us in 16 minutes. 15 minutes after that, we got Aunt L from the Sports Keg. And 15 minutes after that, we have Drew Martin. Eric Jones in the house. Vinny Cornell, 2 plays per day. Gin Rummy, love seeing Gin Rummy in the chat. CDom 37, ready to go. Bookie Lover Q, A Haley, Capper John, Larry Edwards, Lucky Larry back in the building. Deer Slayer Ski, ready to go. Capper John, Joe and Nisi off a 2-in-1 day. Antoine Seymour said, I need a list with the itinerary so when I pull up, I know what's going on. Absolutely, Antoine. Absolutely. We have like a light one right now on Twitter, but we'll have a much more detailed one. We'll hook you up, Antoine Seymour. Absolutely. Cobra Sports 609. We got Astute Chaos says, did you see my tweet this morning? I did not. There was a ton of games to cap, and my head was in. Sorry I missed Astute Chaos. I will check it out as soon as this show's over. Top set ready to go. Said Scout gave us an easy White Sox win. You're right, and I missed it. Coactus, Houston, Boston, Seattle, Minnesota, Cincinnati, San Francisco. All winners last night. As predicted, you can take Tampa Bay today. It's safer with Sale on the mound. Wow. Coactus, that will be a copy and paster. Coactus, let me get my notes up here. And we've got to move fast because I want to get through some of these games before our first guest, Parlay Poppy, who's in 15 minutes. Dave L.A. says almost pulled a sweep. Damn those bullpens. I almost pulled a sweep as well, except for the A's, which was laugh out loud bad. Bricker in the house. Jamal Stone said, good job yesterday. Followed most of your leans. Would have hit something nice and not been for the managers from the Reds and Cardinals. Ronnie P, best part of the workday. Shout out to Ronnie P. We got Mr. Gokster. Mr. Gokster going to be driving down from Toronto. That's how real players do it, man. Long drives. Long drives. Ski Profit, ready to get to work. Nate Dogg, 420. He was at the Low Bag Summit of Champions. My guy, Nate Dogg, representing Steel Town. Steel Town. We got Ty Clinton, Jay Scum, Ulysses Hayes. Ulysses Hayes will be at the Diplomat Beach Resort in Miami. You want to party with Ulysses Hayes? My guy Peanut, you got to come down to Miami. Dre Machi ready to go. Daryl Lyles, I'll get you next week. Justin Grammer, Walla Walla Dose. Beautiful. Tony Weddle, Jermel Wright, Pink Eye Genie. Pink Eye Genie, man, what a renaissance man this guy is. He's capping all day and on the side spreading pink eye awareness. That's our guy, Pink Eye Genie, renaissance man. All right, let's get to work. Jared Ryan ready to go. Let's get to work right now. Jared Schrader, Mally Mal, Poker Addicted 79, Jason Turgi, Von Polo says, how is the parking? Man, I guess because are you going to be driving down from Baltimore? I don't know, but these hotels in big American cities end up getting you, screwing you in situations like this for parking. I will look into that, Von Polo, for you, my guy. There's Picasso the Prophet, says Dave L.A. smashed yesterday. There's Hunter Engelhart. Hunter Engelhart is making his debut. He's got a play of the day video we're going to have on the Late Show from our guy, Hunter Engelhart. Jonathan Succi, Walla Walla Dose, The Dawn, Sports and Entertainment. Beautiful group. Okay, 13 minutes before the first one. As you see, I'm 0.01 units down, which is unbelievable. Coming off a 6-1 day, though. Feels good. We've been crushing Mondays. Let's roll it into Tuesdays and let's get to work. Rockies-Nationals. Let's start there. Rockies-Nationals. So it's Lambert is still pitching, but now we have Strasburg pitching for the Nats. Strasburg opens at minus 175. Wow. Geez, a 28-cent move towards Strasburg and the Nats. Now minus 222. Strasburg being rolling. And Joe Anisi, look, giving us the info, says parking is heavy there, almost $37 a day. Yeah, the only thing to do what I do in these big cities, I do it in Chicago, is I go park at the airport, that mid-airport, that not their giant airport. But I park at the airport, long-term parking. You can get that from anywhere between $8 and $15 a day, and then either Uber, taxi, or transit into the hotel. But that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. There's Isaac God ready to go. Dave L.A. on Nats. Let's go first. There is Anna Merrick ready to go. And Von Post says, hell no, I'm not driving, but I am renting a car. Oh, yeah, that's tricky, man. That's tricky. We are in the same conversation here in the office. Let's see what we can do, Von Polo, because you don't want to add $37 American to your daily fee. Okay, Coactus on Washington run line. Isaac got hit big yesterday, 6-game parlay. Love seeing that. Antoine Seymour on Nats super run line. Nats super run line. Justin Grammer says, when are you coming back to Chicago? I hope soon. What an incredible, incredible city. I was there for Sweet 16, Elite 8 at United Center, and it was spectacular. It was 2 years ago, and it was just one of my most fun trips I've ever had in my life. And then Top Set says, park at the Hard Rock. That's a great idea, Top Set. And we're going to be going there late at night all the time. Hard Rock Casino there. Okay, let's get back to this. Lambert, Strasburg, spot. Let's look at the total. Money lines totals we got here. Sorry, totals. So this spot opened at 8.5. It is now at 9, but Heritage, excuse me, has already put it to 9.5. Bookie Lover Q says rental cars are cheap here. Book early. And, okay, that's a great call. Look, I'm going to copy and paste Joe and Nisi. What a team player our guy Joe is. Joe, you better be coming down to Miami and partying with us. Says my company worked them down to give us vouchers for $20 a day. Oh, that's great stuff. And Steven Mendez coming in says, got to get that daughter ready for school. Going to match up with you guys later. Awesome payday yesterday. Wasn't it a great Monday, Steven Mendez? It just feels like it's been about 2 months straight of us all eating, and it's teamwork, and that's how we defeat the juice. And Joe saying the Hard Rock is far away, about 25 minutes. Okay, we're going to have to figure that out. And Salty Dog says, Chicago, my home, is a great city. It absolutely is a spectacular, spectacular city. There's no doubt about it. Okay, Rockies-Nationals, 76 Fahrenheit, overcast 4 miles per hour, sideways to right field. Rockies 21-28 on the road have looked terrible since the All-Star break. Nationals 26-20 at home. We're rolling before they went 2-2 in that 4-game series against the Braves and rolling. Fun fact from Poker Addicted, dead last in team OPS away, number 1 overall at home. Wow, look at that dichotomy. That's ridiculous. Astute Chaos saying liking Nats minus 2.5 at plus 122. All right, Lambert, 2-1, 6.06 ERA, 1.40 whip. 35 and 2/3, 23K, 7 walks, 9 homers, series business, ready to get to work. Steven Strasburg, 12 and 4, 3.52 ERA, 1.09 whip, 127 and 2/3, 151 Ks, 32 walks, 13 homers. And beautiful. Joe Anisi, I'm coming, baby, Miami. Did you book it already, Joe? Oh, man. Joe Anisi in business. Wow, that is so exciting. Joe Anisi has coming to Miami to party with us all, man. This is getting so excited. Look at all these guys we've got booked so far. Just from low baggers, like in the last couple of days. We have Nut Flush, Von Polo, Joe Anisi, Ulysses Hayes. Where am I missing? Oh, Carlos Peroge. There's more here. I'm missing more. There's Dom Ricci. And Elio's going to be there. Oh, man. This is going to be so good. So good. Okay. Barry Cohen back in action. Barry Cohen joined us yesterday for the late show. Beautiful. Love Barry. Okay. So Strasburg 5 and 4, 4.07 ERA, 10 career starts against the Rockies. So one thing, Rockies were playing real bad. That was an important day off for them yesterday with the rain out. I think that helps their psyche. Nationals are beginning a 10-game homestand. Strasburg 9 and 1, 3.44 ERA over his past 11 starts. Gave up 3 runs on 8 hits, 5 in the third. Rockies snapped a 6-game losing streak, salvaging that final game against the Yankees. Lambert facing the Nationals for the first time winless in his past 5 starts, but comes off an okay performance. There's Alex Ramirez. D-backs run line and Astros run line came in. You are right, Alex Ramirez. You are rolling. There's Red Girl, the 7-0. Oh, we'll be booked today officially. Oh, that's so exciting. Von Polo says, Jimmy, are you leaving on Sunday or Monday? I am leaving Sunday evening or so. So we are leaving Sunday, sadly. I wish we were leaving Monday, but we are leaving Sunday. So we're going to do it up heavy on that Saturday night. Okay. The Don says, y'all about to turn up. Barry Cohen said, think it's going to be a dog day. Lambert looked better. Allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, no walks, eventual 8-4 loss. There is your Rockies-Nationals. You know, I'm certainly not going to jump on the Nats after a 50-cent move towards them. What to do with the total and the over and the team totals? Let's break that down. We've got a bunch of cappers joining us, so we'll do that. I just want to touch on the games as much as possible because we're being joined in 7 minutes. Ty Clinton says, when is the Miami trip? August 18th to 25th. August 18th to 25th. Alex Ramirez says, thanks to you, Jimmy, in the chat. No, it's Alex Ramirez. We are a team, and you are leading the way. Great, great, great work. Okay, and Jansen's excited about Shark Week. Okay, Paco Healy in the house, our Padres expert. Love having Paco rolling with us. Okay, let's move on to Cardinals-Pirates. Let's see if we can get at least 4 games before we're joined by our guy, Parlay Poppy, who may or may not have the chat up. Do you think he'll have the chat up today in today's show? We've been talking. We don't know. He's never had the chat up yet. And I'd love to see if he does have the chat up. Don Reach is going to the Mets game tonight, weather permitting. Crazy storms in the Northeast from D.C. to Boston last night and this morning. And Dave L.A. on Nationals to score first at minus 105. That is a good look. That's a great look because you have to think that Strasburg can get through this Rockies lineup. I mean, with the 3.52 ERA, you think there's a nice chance he gets through that first inning. And then Lambert's going to get touched. That's a very, very interesting look. I like that look a lot, Dave. I'm going to check out and see what I've got on it while we have other guys talking about games. I'm not going to do it right now. It's going to keep you roll through these games. Cardinals, Pirates. Let's look at money lines and totals. Cardinals, Pirates opened at 9. Juice to the over at minus 125. It's now minus 120, so a 5-cent move to the under. Archer and the Pirates open at minus 109. There's been a 19-cent move towards the Pittsburgh Pirates and Chris Archer. Jonathan Succi liking Dave L.A.'s play. Rich G saying Lambert hasn't been bad, even in Coors. Looks like an under to me. Dom Reach saying the unders dominated from All-Star break. They went crazy to the over last night. And Mally Mal saying Lambert 3 ERA away. I don't see any value on the Nats as a side unless you focus on a certain spot, like a team total or the score in the first. Or score first, I should say. Okay. There's our guy, Guru Sports Bet. There's Gerardo Hernandez, ready to go. Gerardo Hernandez liking Nats, Phillies, Giants. Justin Grammer liking Braves and Indians today. Dakota Hudson, Chris Archer, 76 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour, out to right field. Cardinals 24 and 27 on the road, starting to make their move. This is a dangerous ball club. Pirates 23 and 24 at home, just can't get it done. Rich G says, Cards hot, not stepping in front of that. Cards money line. Nufflash on says, Jimmy, Caden said he will catch you later because he just put on his wetsuit and is headed out to surf. Oh, man, tell Caden, go out, catch those waves. Catch those waves. And, we got Caden forever, man. Give Caden my love. Tell him to go catch those waves. Don Reed says, where's everyone who were on Rockies last night? Well, that's different. There's a big difference between Fetty and Strasburg. But I hear you, Dom. Dom says Strasburg gets knocked around today. Sorry, says Hunter Engelhart. David Ellis says, I took Cardinals live. Wanted to know how Trevor came out. Didn't look good. Oh, didn't look good, so easy money. Saying that Rosenthal... Sorry, I'm fading Pirates every day blindly. It's paying me, Jimmy. Wow. Dave LA, I'm fading Pirates every day blindly. It's fading me. It's paying me. Wow. Okay, sorry. Molly Mall not liking Hudson on the road. Deer Slayer Ski said Pirates forgot to hit. And Dave LA fading these Pirates blindly. Wow. Okay, so Goldschmidt hit the grand slam. Pirates almost came back. Lost that out at the plate. Pirates have won 2 of 10. Cardinals won 8 of 10. Hudson 4-1 his past 6 road starts. Cincinnati on Thursday. Hudson was down 3-0 early and then held the Reds scoreless over his last 2 innings. Cardinals rallied to win 7-4. Hudson 1-0, 2.45 ERA in 5 appearances. Okay, Archer has 2 quality starts since the All-Star break. He's not throwing his 2-seamer anymore. He says that's helping him a lot. There's my guy, Dave Berkey, in the house. Poppy Longwood says, I think Jimmy will kill it today. Let's get the bag. Well, we're coming off a beautiful 6-1 day, Berkey. 6-1 day. Jensen said, not sure why Pirates are favored with Archer. You know what? I'm not going to fade Archer. Just listening to him talk, him dropping that 2-seamer, I think he has a strong second half. Pirates have won 6 of Archer's past 9 games. He's 2-0 with 3.52 ERA his past 4 starts. All Pirate wins. Got a no decision Wednesday against St. Louis. Gave up 3 runs, 5 hits, 6 innings. Archer 0-0 with a 2.82 ERA and 4 career starts against the Cardinals. Stu Chaos saying Hudson over Archer. And there's Josh Dot .0. Says Indians first 5 team total over 5.5. Phillies money line 2-game parlay Atlanta San Francisco. And Dave Burke says hot hands. Hands. Rich G, Pirates have been a dumpster fire since the break. I wouldn't bet the Pirates with your money, Jimmy. Rich G, I want you to respect my money. I don't want you to think, oh man, if I had Jimmy's money, pours on me. I want you to think that I've got Jimmy's money. Let's make some cash out of that. But I hear what you're saying, Rich G. Okay. I am not going to go against the market move. Yesterday I liked the Rays, but I wasn't going to go against the market move. And 7-run Red Sox 3rd inning made me smile. There's our guy DJ Big Boss in the house. And Big Boss, listen to you guys. Big Boss next contest, he's made a change. There's now a limit of 180 plays, moving up 60 more plays for the DJ Big Boss contest. And remember, August is our last baseball Big Boss contest, because then September he's moving to NCAA football. There's our guy DJ Big Boss. There's Raul Portwando. Man, great to see Raul Portwando. Don Reach says Cubs were up 4-2. Gave a 3-bond mate, lost 5-4. Gave us the over, but I split. I had Cubs. I hear that. Eric Jones on the Cardinals money line plus 1.5. Pie Guy says I lean Archer, but I don't know about Pirates hitting. All right, no plays for me so far. Then we get to Indians, Jays, Bauer, Sanchez. God, it was just too easy eating with the Indians yesterday. First 5 and full game. Too easy. Here, look at what we're going to be dealing with. Minus 140 and now minus 170. When that minus 140 came out, it was just very fishy. Sanchez has not looked good, although he keeps interviewing well, and I hate going back to the interview, but he seems like he still believes in himself. He's not searching for answers right now. Sanchez and Indians total opened at 9, is now at 9.5. Across the board. 77 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. Indians are hitting 250, 760 OPS versus righties. Jays 228, 709 OPS versus righties. Indians 13-3 in July are plus 1100 for the division. Still looking good, but we need to have the Twins lose to the Yankees today. Indians won the opener 7-3, very easy. They won all 5 innings against the Jays this year. They swept the 4-game series back in April. Bauer allowed 3 runs on 5 hits while striking out 10 and 6 2/3 Thursday in a win over the Detroit Tigers. I don't really trust him. But I don't know how we don't hammer the Indians here. 8th appearance against the Jays. Bauer 3-2, 4.91 ERA against them. Does that give you pause? He's 1-2 with a 6.57 ERA against them at the Rogers Center. Does that slow us down? He got the win against Sanchez April 4th, went 7 hitless. Sanchez not won since April 27th, 0-13 with a 7.99 ERA. Pitched exactly 5 innings each of his past 3 starts. Do we think the Jays get to him enough for us to hit that over? Dave L.A. on the Indians, team total over 4.5. Jerron Crawford swept the board again with his spreadsheets. Man, wow, unbelievable work. And today's spreadsheets, Atlanta, Washington, Cleveland, Arizona, and the Dodgers. Wow, Ron Crawford, thank you for sharing the hard work. Pie Guy says this smells. 10 losses in a row for Sanchez. I could see an upset. Rich G's on with Dave on the Indians team total over. Yeah, that makes the most sense to me. What if Bauer gets touched, which I don't believe will happen? Justin Grammer says Bauer will be on point today. Okay, well, let's look at 2 things. Let's get Parlay Poppy on the horn when you can. Team total for the Indians here, 5.5. Sorry, it's on decimal. Let me get to American odds. There we go. 5.5 at plus 107. I missed that 4.5. Disappointing. And Neil Frank says Indians don't actually hit Sanchez that hard, only a 214 average. Let's see exactly what they do. Batter versus pitcher here. Raul Porwando on Cleveland run line, Arizona run line. Here we go against Sanchez. And they are, wow, interesting. 42 at-bats, just 9 hits, 2 doubles, 0 homers. 214, 262 slugging, just a 568 OPS. And my team totals at 5.5, not 4.5. Anil Frank, great point. Ricardo Flores liking Arizona Nationals and the Dodgers today. Dom reaches on Miley and the Astros. Mally Mel on Jays plus 1.5. Very, very, very interesting. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the kind words, my guy. Okay, Chad Cannon says Sanchez used to be good. And that's when most of those stats are from. That's an important point. Justin Reimer saying Indians averaging 6.1 runs per game. Let the bases loaded last night. Over again tonight. Don Ricci said Friars advanced numbers are real high. Fires, I think there's an R there. I'm not saying, was he talking about the Padres? No, not talking about Friars. He's talking about Fires. Fires advanced numbers are real high, especially on the road. It does certainly look, and it was said in the chat yesterday that I hang out in, said by a couple cappers that these guys like Bailey, like Fires, are much, much better. I mean, it's easy to say much, much better in the Oakland Coliseum than they are when they hit the road. Okay. All right. I'm not going to take the Indians at plus 5.5, although I still think there's value there. The Indians minus 1.5. I mean, the Jays do have power numbers against Bauer. I guess there's only 30 at bats, but 7 for 30 with a homer and a double. So maybe I should take that back. But still, 367 slugging, 761 OPS. Anil Frank said, that said, I still would make a move on the Indians team total over with Toronto's horrible bullpen. I don't know about that at 5.5. All right, I've made no moves yet. We are waiting for Poppy to jump on the horn, something delaying that. That is all good. I'm going to keep rolling. And Domrich says, come on, you guys know I'm King Type. Oh, yes, we do, and we love you. Guru says, Bailey way worse than Fires. It's not even close. I hear that. I absolutely hear that. And then there, I see Parlay Poppy in my peripheral. I'm getting the hands up, so they're just going to check his audio quickly. So I've made no moves. Then we have Red Sox-Rays, Sale versus Trinos. Red Sox, Chris Sale, very Jekyll Hyde pitcher. Red Sox, remember, better on the road than they are at home. Sale 4.9, 4.05 ERA, 1.08 whip. But Sale pitched very good in his last outing. 6 shutout innings, 12 Ks, now 5-0 win at Fenway. Those 2 starts, July 3rd, July 13th, Sale was destroyed for 16 hits, 10 runs. This was his first time after 7 straight All-Star appearances to not make the All-Star game. Maybe his routine messed a little bit. Jim Rami says this whole chat play of the day should always be an underdog price, just to show you how easy it is not to come back next day and tell everybody you were right about underdog prices rather than favorites. Jim Rami saying anybody can propose favorites. Jansen dog of the day is the Royals. All right. And do we have a thumbs up? We do have a thumbs up. Yes, we do. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we have Red Sox-Rays. It's the 4th game that we've been talking about before we bring in our run of experts here. Let's just see what it was, what the odds are in this Red Sox game. Opens at minus 155, a 9-cent move towards the Red Sox, now at minus 164. This total opened at 8. It's now at 7.5. Trinos has been pitching very well. Astute Chaos leaning towards the over in Boston today. And Steven Mendes has bad call on A's yesterday. I was all over Houston. Scary today, though. Yes, that was a bad call by me on the A's, but 6 other winners, 6 in one day is fine. Okay, those are the first 4 games, and we have 11 more to go. We have a lot of work to do. Let's start that work by a man who you can party with in Miami at the Diplomat Beach Resort. Parlay Poppy, representing Los Angeles, California, joining us on this Tuesday morning. Poppy, how you doing on this Tuesday morning? Our guy, Parlay Poppy.
Boo! Yeah, it's 30 days away, Jimmy the Bag. You're 6-1 yesterday. Back in the black, do they say? Or close to it. We're ready to go, my man. So we had a little bit of a technical delay. But let's get right onto it, my dude, my guy, my man.
I love it. Poppy ready to go. Poppy, lead the way. What's the first game on your card?
All right, I found it very difficult to find much going on with this card. I didn't really have a great read on what was going on. But, I do like this spot with the Indians and Bauer versus Sanchez, right? So, in the beginning of the season, when Cleveland was really struggling, Bauer faced the Blue Jays, right? He walked 6 guys despite holding them hitless. And this is when he was going through that, drone autism, whatever the fuck Trevor Bauer has going on in his life. But in that same game, he actually pitched with Sanchez. And, Sanchez did actually really well. He did. Remember, Sanchez, a guy that we love to hate on and fade all day, blisters, whatever he's got. He still was 3-1 at one point in the 6 first games of the beginning of the year. But since then, what's there to say? The guy's been a fucking disaster. He's not having a game where he's allowed less than 4 runs since May. And, and that was against the struggling Orioles. And the guy's winless in May. So what I'm looking at here is the fact that Sanchez now post All-Star break, thinking he's going to be refreshed, is still now at a career high .33 OPS since the start of the All-Star break. And Cleveland right now is hitting .296 batting average, a .865 OPS. Remember how much this team was struggling just what it seems like only a month ago. It sounds like fucking trouble for Sanchez. You know what I mean? And on the other side, we got Sanchez, who's actually faced this team a few times, 42 at-bats, superbly dealt them, .56 OPS. But look, he's faced him once in the past 3 years. This is a very similar team, but look, they're on a hot streak. They're on a hot roll. Why am I going to stand in the way of this? And, there's a couple spots that actually look like there's some value here for me. So Bauer, 6 wins, 2 losses on the road, and only limiting batters to a .345 slugging and 272 weighted on base average compared to his 779 OPS at home. The hard hit rate for him is around the 38% mark. And really, you can't complain. This is a different fucking ball, whatever it's made out of. And that's probably close to average or high average where it should be now. So I don't really think that that's too big of a deal. And the fact are the Blue Jays aren't hitting that well right now. Smoke and Galvis are the only guys who have actually gotten off on Bauer in this lineup. So I really want to look at 2 plays right here. Taking Bauer, trusting Bauer is a little bit of a wild card. With that overly analytical brain that he's got, delusional about his talent, obviously has some emotional and maturity issues based on anything I've heard him say. But despite his personal flaws, he's a good pitcher, a better pitcher on the road. So I want to look at the fact that Cleveland's hitting around the ball a little bit. And we got a Toronto Blue Jays team that came in yesterday on the bullpen in the 5th inning, and they gave up 3 earned runs and 3 walks, 5 hits, so they're going to be a little bit tired. We know that Toronto's got a decent bullpen. So we had, on the other side, they had Tyler Clippard come out, pitch shutout basically to these Blue Jays. So I think a Cleveland team total over 5 versus a very struggling to say the least, Sanchez. Guy may be out of a job if he gets annihilated today. So that might be some extra motivation. But Cleveland team total over 5 at -115, as Cleveland has scored 5 or more runs in the 7 of the last 10 games. And they're basically hitting at probably a season high mark of 865 OPS in the last 6 games. I expect Sanchez to get touched, and I expect the bullpen that's been kind of depleted to get touched a little bit. So I also want to take Cleveland -1 at -136 because of the last 8 games Cleveland has won. 6 of those have come by more than 1 run. So Cleveland Cleveland over 5 at -115, and then Cleveland -1 -136. I'll also probably look at a first 5 -5 as well some way, but I'm only gonna do those 2 plays officially on here, Jimmy the Bag.
It makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. And I mean, BetOnline opened this at -140, but Pinnacle, isn't the first to the market, but it's probably the sharpest book. They opened it at -159. So if you're looking at Pinnacle, the move has been smaller. And Jim Rummy pointed out when we're using these BetOnline as our to see where the line opens up, you can't make a big bet when BetOnline puts out that first number. They stop you from making giant bets on it. So that is worth noting. But yeah, at -159, it got up to -175 last night at 11:25 p.m. Got up to -178 at 2:20 a.m., -179. And then money started coming in on the Blue Jays. So it got back down to -163, down to -159, and now money coming back in on the Indians at -170. That play makes perfect sense. I hammered it yesterday. First 5 full game. Guru Sportsbet says I actually trust Clevenger more than Bauer yesterday. And Corey Simmons, though, the punch in the gooch play of the day is Cleveland run line. And Gary Horvath says I'm from Cleveland too, and we should just pass. It's a tough spot here. It's tougher than yesterday, but I could completely understand taking the Indians to keep rolling and the Indians -1. I may do that. I have not done that yet. Poppy, what's the next game you're looking at?
Right. It's just more of a situation like, what is Sanchez going to do differently? You know what I mean? If anything, I think I'll look at that total at 5 -115. At a decent price would probably be a better look than taking it -1, just because that bullpen, we saw what happened to him yesterday, and it's Sanchez. So that's where I'm at, Jimmy. We're going to go to the next game here. Merle Kelly versus Dylan Bundy. So that is the Diamondbacks versus the Orioles here. And typically, I've probably bet Arizona not too many times at home this year. They're a lot better on the road, substantially, actually. And any team at home versus the Orioles is live. And even if the Orioles are playing the best ball of the year right now, winning 4 of their last 10, congratulations, Baltimore. The thing about Merle Kelly that I like is the first time that he faces one of these teams, he has done so well, especially at home. His home record, he's only 3-3. That's indicative to the volatility that there is in that Arizona ballpark in the first part of the year, because a lot of the times that roof is off or it's on, and that changes the way that the dynamics are for hitters and pitchers, and especially when that roof is off. I mean, that shit's like a mini Coors Field. Not quite, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So at home, Kelly, 2.83 ERA, 57 innings, whip of 1.01, weighted on base average of 0.274. And since All-Star break, although he's winless, he has allowed 2 runs in 12 innings, against a red-hot St. Louis team, right, and a potent Brewers lineup who, has been a little spotty recently on offense. So we can see that he's dealing decent ball clubs well, actually superbly, 2 runs, 12 innings. Arizona, they're a hot team right now. Only second to Houston in offensive metrics that I find important. They got a .302 batting average right now, 914 on base plus slugging. And, they have the most runs scored in the past week at 52. And they didn't have one of those games where they had like 19 or 21 runs where that kind of blows that metric out of proportion. So they've been consistently putting the ball up. And, despite being not that great at home, they've gotten at least 4 runs in the month of July at home. While Baltimore, doing well, right? 4 out of the last 10. Their offense looks like it's coming alive a little bit, but, they're still pretty inconsistent and not somebody to be reliable. And we got Bundy on the other hand, right? I actually like to back Bundy on the road, and I've done so with some success. and getting some decent prices. But the thing about him right now that I really find a good spot to bet against him is that he just had a short, I think 10 or 12-day stint on that injury list with knee tendonitis. And, for me, the fact that he's kind of coming back from that tendonitis, from that little issue, and he got blasted by the Tampa Bay Rays. And this is during their little streak of not being able to hit shit. I mean, good Lord, we saw him yesterday almost obliterate the Boston bullpen. But, this team has really been struggling to put it together offensively. And Dylan Bundy goes in there in one inning and gets blown up for 7 runs by the Tampa Bay Rays. And before that, he had another game where Bundy actually went over to the Blue Jays. Right before that, pitched him 1 out inning. So, kind of a little bit of a situation there. But, right before that, he did get blown up by the Padres. So not too much. We'll take that Blue Jays things out of the equation. So we got Arizona, dicey bullpen, not that great at home. But we want to take Merrill Kelly, who's been really good against facing lineups for the first time, especially at home. His home numbers are very, very good. He's probably coming off one of the best outings of the year against the Brewers last time out at home. So I have a sickening bullpen on the other side of the Baltimore Orioles. Let's say that they're behind in the first 5. We can still get to that fucking Orioles bullpen, allowing an 843 OPS, just like these Washington Nationals. This is a fucking trash bullpen in Baltimore. So I think that there's value taking Arizona -1 at -127. I know it's a little juicy today, but I'm reaching for spots here, and I feel comfortable with these 3 plays I put out. So we're gonna do -1, -127. It's 10 of the last 11 games that Arizona has won. They've covered that run line, and the 13 last losses by Baltimore, they have lost by 1, or they have lost by 2 or more runs. So they're losing on the run line. Arizona's winning on the run line. Bundy coming off the IL, getting blasted around by the Rays. Merrill Kelly, excellent at home. A team in Arizona who is actually hitting at the best market home in their season. Arizona -1, -127, Jimmy.
I like it. I know that the Orioles bullpen is so much worse than Diamondbacks bullpen, but I still don't trust the Diamondbacks bullpen that much. If it came right down to it, I guess I would say that I like Merrill Kelly. We focus on Kelly over Bundy. And I find him a trickier pitcher than it looks because he is capable of having good starts. We haven't seen many of them this year, but I just don't always have he surprises me at times when I'm fading him. But if we
I've
think
made
that
money with him on the road plenty of times. That's what I'm saying. The spot here, although Arizona's dicey bullpen, it is nothing compared to that Baltimore bullpen. You know what I mean? That is like a fucking train wreck. I would say it's worse than the Washington Nationals just based on the type of hits that they get off and how many people move around on the base. But, I see the Dylan Bundy. Little skeptical, but I like fading him coming off this little injury and getting blasted in his outing right before that.
Yeah, I feel you. And the knee tendonitis is tricky. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks first 5 -0.5 at -115. Diamondbacks first 5 -0.5 at -115. Just going to focus on Kelly and the difference there. We got to make moves. We got to bring in our next guest. But I imagine, is there another game you're looking at that we could touch on very quickly?
Yeah, I would probably take a look at these Cardinals first 5, just based on the fact that Archer's just been so unreliable. The thing that scares me a little bit is Hudson on the road, although 5-3. The lefties on Pittsburgh can really do damage on him. .519 slugging, a 380 weighted on base average against these lefties, and Pittsburgh definitely has a few guys that can hit him on the road. So I think I'm going to take a couple more time to look at this and see if I'm going to put that out as a play. But for right now, Jimmy, we just got those 3 plays here today.
I love it. Parlay Poppy here. He is representing Los Angeles, California. And you can party with this man live at the Diplomat Beach Resort in Miami. Not too long from now. He's taking the red eye in Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. We can't wait to party with him, man. I'm so excited. Parlay Poppy, thank you so much for joining us, man. Enjoy the rest of the day. Are you going to be hammering Coors Lights at a bar for the late show?
Jimmy, I don't know if you heard, but Coors Light wrote me a very mean letter, and they basically told me to go fucking blow myself. So we don't do that shit anymore. We don't drink Coors Light. We drink Michelob Ultra Light. Plus, it has less carbs, my dude. You know what I mean?
I did not know that. I did not know that. Fuck Coors
Yeah,
Light then.
fuck,
Michelob Ultra
fuck,
Lights, man. I get
fuck
it.
'em.
I'm with you.
All right, dudes. I'll see you guys later. I'll be working, but catch me on the Twitter at Poppy_Parlay. Miami, let's go. 30 days. Get your ticket. Come on, dudes. See you later. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Much love, much love. Joe Anisi says, what's the plan for Wednesday in Miami? I believe that's the Hard Rock Casino night. I'd have to look over what Wednesday is. But Thursday is Gulfstream and the Dolphins game. Friday is the Marlins game. Saturday is Gulfstream. And then we have a Hurricanes alumni bar to watch the Hurricanes game in. So that's what's up. I love it. There's our guy, Parlay Poppy. And I'm on one play with him. I'm on that first 5. I mean, it's correlated with his play. First 5 minus a half with Merrill Kelly. Staying away from that bullpen that I don't trust. And Ski Prophet says, isn't there a horse race today, Jimmy? Yes. The second jewel of the Canadian Triple Crown on a Tuesday night in Canada in Fort Erie. But yes, a big race. Only 5 horses in it. Prince of Wales Stakes. I'm on the 2 AV's Flatter to turn the tables on one bad boy. AV's Flatter should go off a little over 2-1. There's only 5 horses in the race, so only bet it to win. All right, let's bring in our next guest. Representing the Sports Keg. I share the show, Sports Keg show, with him on Wednesday nights, and I absolutely love it. We didn't get him last week, and I missed him. Please welcome to the show, Ant L. How you doing on this Tuesday morning, Ant?
I can't complain. I'm on a 5-day weekend from work, so everything's good.
Everything does sound good. Ant, we love your breakdowns. Let's get right into it. What's the first game on the docket for you today?
All right, so the first game, it's, in my opinion, it is the best spot on the card. I have 1.5 units on it, but I'm going to be brief because it's going to be repetitive because it's the Indians game. Indians first 5 run line, -0.5. I got it last night at -120. I would take it all the way up to -130. You have a significantly better starting pitcher. Sanchez fucking sucks. We all know that. Bauer's pretty good. The Indians' offense in the last 30 days is 4th in WRC+. 4th in WOBA, 4th in slugging. They're hot as can be. Jose Ramirez finally remembered that he was a MVP quality player, and he's been playing like that the last couple months after being completely abysmal the first couple months. So if you can get Indians first 5 run line at -130 or less, that's the 1.5 unit play for me. But we've already talked about that game enough, so I'll just skip on. The next game I'm on is the Red Sox versus the Rays. So we got Chris Sale and Chirinos, and Chris Sale is it's hard to pin him down this year. At some points he looks amazing like he always is, and then he'll randomly give up 5 runs in a game. It's very strange. He has a 4.05 ERA despite, all those blowups, which kind of tells you, well, that's because he also goes out there, pitches 7 innings and no runs. But his FIP is at 322. His Sierra is at 299. And, those are the advanced ERA metrics I like to look at. His whip is 1.08. So his whip is still very low, still a very elite whip. His K rate is over 35%. His walks is 5.9%. So his K to strikeout ratio is still there. So I'm trying to figure out, why is he still getting blown up in some of these starts? And it's because when he's let guys on in some of these spots, he's just getting his hits clustered up in some of these games when he's getting blown up. Like, he has a 69.4% strand rate, which is actually pretty low for him. But I like him to positively. I like him going forward. All of his stuff's still there. I mean, you watch him; he's still getting 13 Ks, things like that. So I still like Chris Sale. On the other side, Chirinos. I don't really dislike Chirinos. He has a 3.29 ERA. That's pretty good. His FIP and Sierra, though, are higher, 4.19 FIP, 4.18 Sierra. So, I mean, you would expect there to be some regression there. But his whip is 1.02. But really, is the key for me to think that Chirinos can regress is he has a 243 BABIP, which is batting average of balls in play against. Now, league average is around 290 to 310. So he is well below league average in his batting average on balls put in play. So what that's telling me is he should have some negative regression in that aspect, that he's getting very lucky on his bat, on the balls that are put in play. And then I just want to look at our hitting statistics, because it ain't just pitchers. It's also guys swinging the bats here. Last 30 days, 126 WRC plus for the Red Sox, third in the league. WOBA, 367, first. Slugging, 521, first. Batting average, 301, first. Last 30 days for the Rays, 94 WRC plus, 22nd in the league. 309 WOBA, 25th in the league. 419 slugging, 24th in the league. 239 batting average, 28th in the league. So you have a massive dichotomy right there, a massive disparity in these offenses right now. I got to take the Red Sox first five. You can get them on the run line at minus 125 right now, I believe. Anything below minus 130, I think, is playable. On the Red Sox all the way here.
Yeah, I get it. I really do. I really get it. So the idea that Sale's been unlucky this year and should finish off the second half strong, and that's what he wants. Viper MB says, I'll take Sale at this price any day. Lone start against the Rays, 4 runs, 2 earned, 7 innings, but that was April 28th, and he was a mess, and it was at Fenway. 2.94 ERA in 116 and a third innings against the Rays overall. That makes sense. You're taking first 5 over full game because you don't trust the Red Sox bullpen at all?
It's not that I don't trust the Red Sox bullpen. It's the Rays have a very good bullpen, and I could just isolate the starting pitching matchup with the lineups. I would prefer just to isolate the starting pitching matchup versus getting into the bullpens, because there's less of an advantage with the Red Sox bullpen versus the Rays bullpen. I mean, I don't dislike the Red Sox bullpen, but I'd rather keep the advantage. I'd rather keep my bet where the biggest advantage is.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. So the first 2 plays from Ant, first 5s, Indians -0.5, and the Red Sox -0.5. Just writing these down so I can share them again when we're on our late show. Okay, Gary Horvath says, I like Tampa Bay, but Boston needs a sweep. Steven Mendez says, I think Sale turned it around. Under Ankle Heart saying, Sale's the least profitable pitcher in baseball. Baseball betting is all about getting value, and Sale's not a guy that comes with value. But
you understand some context on that. Sale being the least valuable starting pitcher. How many times this year is he minus 250, minus 300? I mean, there's a couple starts where he was minus 350. It doesn't take that many losses at that price to, quote unquote, have your unit count on him be completely decimated. And that's why you're looking at Sale at this price. You want to kind of attack spots, instead of just like blindly fading or blindly tailing people. You want to just kind of attack certain spots. And in this certain spot, because it's not just Sale. I'm not just going, Sale versus Torinos. Look at the offenses. The Red Sox are number 1 in almost every single offensive category over the last month. Their bats are extremely hot. So it's not just backing Chris Sale. It's backing the hottest offense in the league versus another offense that's been one of the coldest in the league over the last month.
Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. I get the angle. I'm going to spend a little more time with it, but I think that makes sense. I really do think that makes sense. Joe and EC leaning to the over 7.5. Ant, what's next on your card?
Those are my only 2 official plays, but I have a decent amount of leans that I'm thinking about throwing half units on. I actually have already thrown a half unit on this one. I am on the Astros -1. I really like Wade Miley at home. He's one of the pitch to contact specialists out there that I think gets undervalued in the betting market a lot, because a really good pitch to contact specialist can be even more valuable than a guy who just strikes a bunch of people out. Like, look at Robbie Ray. I mean, his ERA's sky high half the time, but everybody still wants to back him at -180 because he strikes out 12 guys per 9 innings. But that doesn't work out now, does it? But I really like this spot for the Astros, mainly because I'm also wanting to fade fires I've had a lot of conversations with my good friend Matt, also known as Twatty Latte, throughout the season on fires. I love taking fires at good prices at home, but I like to try and fade him on the road. His pitching style is suited for that Oakland Coliseum, but you put him in a sandbox like the Houston Astros ballpark with that Houston Astros lineup, he's liable to basically do what Homer Bailey did yesterday. And I'm not saying he's going to give up 11 fucking runs, but I mean, he definitely could give up 4 runs here pretty easily in the first 5. I think Wade Miley is definitely good enough to hold the Athletics to 2 runs, 2 or 3 runs here. At getting it at minus 160 on the money line, you can get him at about plus 115, plus 110 on the run line. I combined him, and I took the Astros -1 for a half unit play here. Basically fading fires, and I do like that offense of the Astros, and I do like Wade Miley.
I agree. Are you not at all concerned with how the A's smash lefties, 278, 24 OPS? You think Miley can figure his way through this A's lineup?
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, I don't pay that much attention to lefty-righty splits unless it's like substantial because a team happens to have a stacked right-handed lineup, which I mean the A's do, but they also have some lefties in there that Miley can get around. Plus, the A's don't. Miley's a pitch-to-contact kind of guy, and the A's don't really make a lot of contact. So, I mean, I don't know. I think he's gonna do pretty good here, but it's only a half-unit play, so it's not like I'm out here waving the banner that the A's are just gonna, or that the Astros are just gonna completely destroy him. But I think there's enough value here getting the Astros at this number, especially since even if Miley does give up 3-4 runs against them, I do not think fires. I do not like fires at all in this ballpark against a lineup like that. I think he's liable to get completely demolished.
You know, there's a great breakdown. Big Ragoo say Oakland team total over 4 is money. Dave LA saying Miley will be fine. An interesting thing happened yesterday, and we got to move on to Drew Martin, but I just want to mention this quickly, as briefly as possible, even though I know it's set up for a longer conversation. But on Sports Keg last Wednesday, you know, a lot of guys in our chat are looking for dogs all the time, all the time. And I understand that aspect, but I really kind of rocked me and stuck with me our conversation about favorites and dogs on Wednesday. And when Twatty Latte told us I believe he's got about 582 bets or something like that this year. He's up 70 units, and 11 of those, just 11 have been underdogs. And I see you on 3 favorites. Can you just, as brief as possible, and I'm sorry to throw this at you, but as brief as possible, tell us more why you do and how often you've backed dogs, and kind of break down this favorite look that you and Twatty have been so successful with this year?
Well, I'll back a lot more underdogs than Twatty will, just because when I see a value on a number, I'll grab it. But it comes down to this: they say every team wins 60 games and every team loses 60 games, right? So the underdogs win. But as Twatty's mentioned, the underdogs are not generally winning those games against the best teams in the league. You know, the Tigers are winning their games against the Royals and vice versa. The Tigers are not going into the Cleveland. They're not going into the Yankees and sweeping them. So one of the things that's been very successful that Matt and I have been doing this year is if you can get the best starting pitcher and the best lineup in the game and finding a way to get them at the lowest number. For example, these first 5 run lines on the good teams, you're going to have a lot of success there. Especially since, because everyone just thinks, oh, you get all that juice, you should never lay -180 or you should never lay -200. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't like doing it a lot. I don't do it super often. But if a team should be -290, why not bet them at -200? The problem is a lot of people, they'll keep chasing dogs because they keep seeing +200, +180, and they think that's a great number. And sometimes it is a good number. But, there's a reason why that team's a huge underdog. You're going to lose those bets a lot of the time. In betting favorites, especially like betting first 5 run lines on a substantially better starting pitcher and a substantially better lineup, can be very profitable. You get that team under minus 130, like I'm doing, with the Red Sox. I'm getting the better starting pitcher and better lineup under minus 130. It's the reason why I think the first 5 run line on the Indians today is the best bet on the board. So a 1.5 unit bet for me. You're getting substantially better starting pitcher and a substantially hotter lineup under minus 130.
Yeah, no, that's great. That was exactly what I wanted to hear, and great breakdown. And we got to move on to Drew Martin. Could you let us know where we could find you on Twitter and tell us more about SportsKeg?
I am at @L_SportsKeg on Twitter, and you can find us on our YouTube channel, The SportsKeg. We do nightly live betting. We live bet baseball, obviously, this time of year. We'll also dabble in WNBA. Well, my partner, dabbles in WNBA. I don't.
All right, we have we have a frozen. Oh, there he's back.
Try and find spots.
And he's frozen again. Okay. Thank you so much, Ant. You are you're a monster and a huge asset to us in the Low Bag family. Okay, let's roll into Drew Martin now, joining us from South Florida. Very close to Gulfstream Park is where Drew lives, so you can party with this man in Miami for betting with the bag, hustle and flow bag, August 18th to 25th. Drew, my guy, how are you?
Hustle and flow bag. I like that name, Jimmy. I'm doing good, man. Happy Tuesday morning to you. Thanks for having me on the show. And yeah, I mean, Gulfstream Park isn't too far from where I'm at right now. Good weather, hopefully a clear day when we're there, and we can cash some horse bets, man. It's always a fun time at Gulfstream.
Yeah, we're going to be hammering. I'm just so pumped. I can't wait for Miami. I can't wait. But let's get right into it. I know we don't have you for too long. We are coming off a giant day as a group and want to keep that rolling. And I only have one play so far. What's the first game on your card?
Well, I got a couple plays I'm interested in. I have made one bet here, and it's the Padres versus the Mets. We got Paddock versus Vargas, and I heard Ant on before talking about, getting the better pitcher and the better lineup. Not necessarily sure about the better lineup, but more righties going against the lefty starter here. Jason Vargas going for the Mets, and we know the Padres position players, it's 7 out of 8 in their starting lineup is coming from the right side. So I like this here at minus 130. Got a short favorite on the road. Chris Paddock has been great since coming back, Jimmy. He's 22 Ks, 3 walks, 22-3 K to walk ratio is awesome. 1 walk in each of his last 3 starts. He's just pitching really great. The Pods above average versus lefties, 104 weighted runs created plus number. Jason Vargas, 9 earned runs in his last 9 innings. Kind of questionable here of late. Love kind of back in the hot and fading the cold pitchers here. He's only got 5 Ks in his last 9 innings too. So of recent performance, Jason Vargas not nearly as good as Chris Paddock. And both pitchers are better at home, but Paddock has been better on the road of late. So at just a minus 130 price tag here, we get the better pitcher, the better lineup in terms of who they're facing tonight. Handedness of the pitcher is something I take into big account here. So minus 130 on the Padres. I put 1 unit on, Jimmy.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. I want to just quickly see what Vargas has been like at home over the last little bit. Let's see. Overall, 3.15 ERA, 1.22 whip, but he's only had 1 start at home over his last 5. That was against the hard-hitting Yankees, even though Yankees don't hit lefties that hard, but they still have a great line. 3 earned runs in 5 1/3. Before that, St. Louis. Yeah, he's not been great. He's not great. He looked very bad at Miami. Do you trust this Padres bullpen? I guess you trust them more than the Mets bullpen?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the Padres bullpen, full of guys with strikeout potential for the full season, Jimmy. I believe they're a top 3 bullpen in terms of K to walk rate. That's a stat I love out of relievers. And yeah, to answer your question shortly, yes, I do like this Padres bullpen overall.
So Paco Healy, our Padres expert, full game, first 5 money line and both unders back in the Padres. And then Dom said he's going to be at this game and he's leaning under first 5. So Padres hitting 253, 785 OPS versus lefties. The Padres they have a big advantage with Paddock on the mound here. Dom Regis says Mets pen since the All-Star break 2.30. What's your feel on the total in this spot?
If you made me bet it, I'd be on the under. I mean, Dom, that's awesome. You're going, man. It sounds like a lot of fun there in New York. Paddock, I'm not looking to go against. I could see Paddock going 6-7 innings, 0 earned, 1 earned, something like that. And I like the Paddock versus the Mets kind of matchup a little bit more than I like the Padres lineup versus Vargas. So I think that both pitchers can have success. If you made me bet the total, I'd be on the under 8.5. I just like the Padres side a little more here, both starting pitcher, bullpen, and lineup, kind of all adding up. I think minus 130 here, minus 130-ish price tag is just, it's not enough. I think it's a buy low opportunity.
Yeah, I do agree. And I guess the way you're looking at it is Paddock's minus 160 first 5, but full game, these Padres are, sorry, let me just pull it up right now. Full game, these Padres are minus 130. So you much prefer the minus 130, minus 160, because what you'd have to do is take the Padres minus a half to get down to minus 115. So why not just take the Padres full game at minus 130?
Yeah, that's exactly the thinking. And I am a first 5 guy in the sense if that's where you're going to point to just the starting pitching matchup. But for 30 cents, that's kind of pricey. Let's face it, 30% of your 1 unit bet just to get down to five innings. I think that's just too much of a price tag. You're having to pay a lot for that. So I just went with the full game here at minus 130 before the show.
Yeah, I get it. I'm going to just leave that as a lean right now. Hunter Angara says if you're going to take the Padres, might as well take them at the run line, especially on the road. I'm going to take some time with that, but I like that look, and I'm close to making a move there. What's next on your card?
And to the commenter, you said to take him minus the 1.5 on the road. It is a look here, but you're not having to pay too much to get the better team, the better pitcher, the better lineup for just minus 130 price tag. So not 100% in agreement with that comment. But we got Caleb Smith and Dylan Covey on the hill. Wore my Marlins hat. I feel like. When I wear it and I'm looking to bet on them, good things can happen, Jimmy. But either way, minus 115 here for the Marlins. And both lineups are terrible. Bottom 5 lineups in all of baseball and recent. Both are not very good. 82 weighted runs created plus number for both of them. Neither of them higher than that. Both well below 700 team OPS. So both lineups not very good. But starting pitching wise, I think Caleb Smith has a huge advantage here, and it's not really reflective fully in the price. We got Caleb Smith, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Pretty much 8 out of 10 of his last starts here. So he's kind of been solid, even though he has gotten touched from time to time. Overall, he's been pretty good of late. Going against Dylan Covey, Jimmy, since he's been back, man, his numbers are awful. 8 earned runs in his last 3.1 innings pitched since coming back. It's something I feel is wrong here. It's almost like kind of questioning why he's starting almost. So I know the Marlins lineup is not very good. Neither is the White Sox here, but it's just a minus 115 price tag. I think that the Marlins is the side. I'm going full game here because the Chicago White Sox last 14 days, a stat I love to look at for relievers this time of year because we get that all-star break and kind of the reshuffling of the bullpens. Chicago White Sox pin is just not striking anybody out. I believe only a 3% K to walk rate here. So coming out of the pin, I don't like this White Sox bullpen at all, and just a minus 115 price tag. I know it's a bad lineup here, so I only put a half a unit on it, but I am on the Marlins minus 115 backing Caleb Smith.
That makes a ton of sense again. And Dylan Covey has cost me a lot of money over the last couple of years because I mean, look at his home numbers, 2.20 ERA. I mean, 1.29 whip, which is not great. It doesn't, you'd think this ERA would be higher than 2.20. But look at his last 4 appearances all being on the road. His last 9 appearances, 7 of them have been on the road. At home, that one start at home, he shut down the Indians on May 31st, 1 earned run in 6 innings. It wouldn't surprise me if Covey has an okay start here. The first 5, and Caleb Smith on the road, I understand backing the Marlins completely, but I'm not for sure against. I mean, there's been a move. There's been a 20-cent move to the under. BetOnline opened the under, first 5 under, First 5 under was at plus 105. A 20-cent move towards that first 5 under to minus 115. you know, and Don Reed saying Smith's been better. I completely understand the Marlins, but I'm just a tiny bit hesitant right now. And I've talked myself off just hammering that first 5, which is what I was going to do. But I'm happy we've talked about that game because that was a game we hadn't talked about that yet. Is there anything else? I know you got to leave very soon. Is there anything else you're looking at on your card?
I mean, just real quick, another game I was looking at in the NL Central, Hudson versus Archer, talking about the Cardinals and the Pirates. Looks like -127 for the Pirates. Originally, I was going at this just because I like Dakota Hudson, looking to bet on him, but breaking this game down more, looking under the hood. Hudson, he's gone 5 innings, 6 innings, 5 innings for Cincinnati, Arizona, and San Francisco. 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs, 2 earned runs. But the walks, Jimmy, are what kind of scares me here. He's got 9 walks in his last 3 outings combined. And last time versus Pitt, he only went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits in that game. So I feel like this lineup kind of sees him well. It was a while ago when they saw each other, so we'll see what happens with that. I just think Chris Archer, it's kind of the same profile with less walks and more strikeouts as Dakota Hudson. So I feel at this price tag, again, another one under -130 here with Pittsburgh at home. Both lineups fairly cold right now, so it's kind of, profile-wise, offensively the same. Slight pen advantage towards Pittsburgh, I would give. It's one of these games where I was looking towards Chris Archer and Pittsburgh. I just haven't pulled the trigger. I'm interested in your opinion, but under -130, I'm really leaning towards Pittsburgh.
So am I, although the full game, I you know how you trust Pittsburgh's bullpen a little more than the Cardinals? I don't. And maybe it's that I trust the Cardinals' offense late in games or something. I think the advantage is with Archer over Hudson, but there's been a 18-cent move at BetOnline. Let's see what the move has been at Pinnacle. It's smaller, but still a 12-cent move. So when I look at this game, Archer is not throwing the 2-seamer anymore. I believe in Archer, and I know that's a crazy thing to say about someone with a 5.36 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, but I'm listening to his interviews. The guy wants to be a leader in this clubhouse, and I expect him to be in the second half of the year. In saying that, and we've had 2 different cappers talk about this game, I know where my advantage is, and it's against Hudson. It's backing the Pirates against Hudson and backing Archer early. And I had the first 5 on the Pirates yesterday, and it pushed. I'm going to go right back to the well. We just had a 1-cent move here at Pinnacle, small move. I'm going to go right back to the well on, that was full game though. Sorry, moved. I'm going to go first 5. At 5 dimes, I'm getting the Pirates at -125. I'm going to take the Pirates first 5 on the money line at -125. And I agree. I think Hudson will have a little bit more difficulty on the road. He's got a 1.51 whip, only 76 Ks and 103 in the third, 47 walks and 103 in the third. And I'm going to back the Pirates first 5 at -125. I'm happy that you touched on this game. Great job, man. And Hunter Engelhardt saying, I agree with you, Drew. The Pirates lineup is a hibernating bear waiting to get woken, and it's going to happen at home. Just a matter of when. Jim Rami says, I will only take Pirates at opening price, which is -115. Otherwise, you are too late. And also, welcome to go to the other side. And Chad Cannon saying, Archer's doo-doo at this price. And David Elliott said, I'd rather fade Pirates as a team than fade Hudson. And Paco Healy said, I was leaning to Pittsburgh. Why is the price so cheap? It's just because the Pirates are 2-8 since the All-Star break. This is the way I see it. I think great points. And Hunter Engelhardt saying, value in Pirates first half -0.5. Maybe that was the better move to get a slightly plus line. But I'm going to take the Pirates first 5. I know you got to bounce. Thank you so much for joining us, Drew. What a treat it is to have you on the show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning. Where can we find you on Twitter, and what shows you got coming up this week?
Yeah, at Drew Martin Bets. Be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Love being on here, Jimmy. Shout out to all the low baggers out there, guys. Best of luck with your bets. I'm on the San Diego Padres -130 for a unit. Also the Marlins -115. So 2 small favorites on today's card. But Jimmy, best of luck with your bets, man. And we'll talk tomorrow, bro.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. There we go. There is Drew Martin. And there we have 3 guests. Starting with Parlay Poppy, then Ant L, then Drew Martin. All right, so I'm on the Pirates first 5 at -125. Now, Ant L back in the Indians first 5 -0.5. And maybe that is just simply the play here. But Bauer in Toronto, I guess I've got some hesitation. And it's also on Red Sox first 5 -0.5. That I know that Sale has not been a profitable pitcher this year, but I think that he rolls the rest of the season. That may be a move I make. I'm not going to make it quite yet. So then we have not talked about Phillies Tigers with Boyd, who's not looked good this year. He's not looked, especially of late, giving up 3 and 5 earned runs, between 3 and 5 earned runs in his past 8 starts. ERA going up from 2.85 to 4.13. But it's a fishy number for the Tigers to have started this low. So we have the Padres Mets, and I was close to making a move on Paddock, and then I slowed down. Let's quickly see what Paddock has done on the road here. Let's grab it quickly. Here we go. Padres, Paddock on the road. And, here we go. Get there. On the road this year, 3 ERA, 1 whip. He's been very strong. Last 2 starts were on the road. Against the Dodgers, he shut them down. Against the Marlins, he shut them down. I mean, it almost feels like you just need 1 run. I mean, the Mets are hitting 247, 737 OPS versus righties. This isn't a lefty on the mound that the Mets can rake. Padres hit lefties much harder than righties. You know, I do feel, and Top Set says, take Pirates team total over and relax. Gary Horvath on Phillies first 5 against the Tigers. Mally Mal going back to the well with Cleveland. I feel like now looking at that road number, Paddock is he's just confident right now. Another thing about this matchup is it's Paddock versus Pete Alonso for the Rookie of the Year race. Now, I know Pete Alonso is going to win the Rookie of the Year race. 33 home runs already and won the home run derby. But Paddock has a chance to send a message. Hunter Engelhardt saying 138 batting average against Paddock last 4 starts. You know, enough is enough. I am going to take the Padres first 5. Let's see what the best way to handle this is. San Diego Padres first 5. Here we go with Paddock's minus 160. I have to take minus a half, which I have a bit of hesitation about doing. But I think that's just the best angle for me. I just want to focus on Paddock. I feel like the Mets will have a much easier time as soon as they get to that Padres bullpen, which hasn't been that strong. I'm going. Oh, and Anthony L. also mentioned the Reds game. I want to touch on that just for a second because Anthony L. and I wish he had talked about it. We just didn't have enough time because I love hearing Ant L. talk about Zach Davies, who continues to pitch better than I expect him to. Here we go. I'm gonna take Paddock first 5 minus a half. First 5 minus a half at minus 115. This was a lefty. I'd have more fear. So I am taking Padres first 5. So again, and I don't want this to get in my head, but I am going to need 24 more plays in the Big Boss contest to qualify. You know, because you need a minimum of 60 bets. I'm not there yet. We have the Rourke Davies game we didn't talk about. The Marlins White Sox game. I got some hesitation because I don't hate Covey. I just don't hate Covey at home. And maybe that's just been a mistake. That's obviously cost me a ton of money. Okay, so then we haven't talked. Oh, we did talk about A's Astros. Beautiful, because we have Ant L backing these Astros and Dave LA backing it too. Anything else saying Reds offense is hot right now. Maybe a half unit on that at plus money. And Jin Rami, he's talking about to somebody else. Sorry, okay. And then Yankees Twins. We have not talked about the Domingo Herman, Kyle Gibson spot here with the Yankees losing that first game last night, 8-6. Let's quickly look at what the money lines and totals are for the Yankees Twins spot here. Yankees Twinkies. Oh, that's first 5. My fault. Here we go. Full game. My fault. Domingo Herman's looked so good since coming off the IL. Open up, be no market move at all on either the total or the side. So Yankees sitting at minus 124, a 1 cent move towards them. And the total is still at 10, sitting there at 10. Okay. And Jin Rami is on the Tigers plus money. Wow, that's an interesting look. This is a tricky card. You know, yesterday's card, there were so many angles that I loved. And we had a beautiful 6-1 day. Now, I don't want to get too caught. I'm on the Diamondbacks first 5 minus a half, minus 115 as well. We have not talked about this Darvish Bumgarner spot, and I'm looking forward to hear what Num Flush Allen has to say about these Giants as he put a unit and cash in our pocket. Angels, Dodgers, we've not talked about Pena, Maeda. We remember what happened in June. Angels took both games at 5-3 scores. Guru Sportsbet says, I'll take Herman over Gibson any day. Rich G says, agreed, Guru. Yankees, the play. We're going to talk about that and we do not know at this. Do we now know who's starting for? Yes, Tommy Malone now starting for the Mariners. So that was the one game I hadn't capped that I will. So very interesting card today, and great work from our guests. I'm only on 3 plays personally. I'm on the Pirates first 5 at -125. That's the money line. Pirates first 5, -125 money line. Then I'm on the Padres first 5 -0.5 at -115. And then I'm on finally the third game on my card. Sorry, looking pages of notes. Is the Diamondbacks first 5 -0.5 -115. So I have 3 first 5 plays, and that is it right now. I have a ton of work to put on this MLB card, and then we need to talk about these 3 spots in the WNBA. Sparks at Dream. Dream just 4 and 6 at home. Then we have Storm at Aces. Aces seem to be getting their shit together. Now 12 and 6 and 7-2 at home. And then we have Fever at Mercury. So we have 3 games in WNBA that we will talk about on the Late Show. Man, these 15-game cards are tricky. They're tricky, and it's great having the 3 experts come on, but then you look at yesterday we were able to touch on all 11 games on the morning show and then hammer them again on the Late Show, and we destroyed that card. So let's not get overwhelmed with the fact that we have 15 games to work on. Thank you so much to our guests, Parlay Poppy and L and Drew Martin. Thanks so much to our chat, and that's what makes this show so special. And Top Set comes in, Scout send text, liking Braves first 5 and full game run line. Well, that's a copy and paster right there. First 5 and full game. And Deer Slayer Ski tailing that Pirates play. You know, I think there's times when the stats do correlate or coincide perfectly with the interviews and the confidence that I'm seeing in a pitcher. And I have a feeling that Archer's going to have a really good start against the tough Cardinals ball club. Just with the way he talked about cutting out that 2-seamer and the way he broke down why that wasn't an effective pitch for him, I just feel like he's going to have a strong end to this season. Thank you guys so much. Mal saying we don't need every game. Well, that's that's important to hear, because I've always been had this feeling that we need to cap and touch on each and every game. So it's nice to hear that from our guy, Mally Mal, original low bagger. And Larry Hedward says, Lucky Larry, coming off a monster game himself, says, I like Bumgarner. Paco Healy saying Bum looks great. We're going to cap all these games on the Late Show. Much love to all you guys, but the most important thing is we milk these leche Halos bookmakers. Welcome.